Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Welcome to this evening edition of the Hour of Politics. Today, you have heard me say special. This is the special of the special. I have the honor in today's edition to be hosting Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai. Mr. Boakai is my guest in this edition of the Hour of Politics. And so I will ask you that you shall favor to hit that share button, share the show with your contact. The Vice President is running again to be president of our nation. And he has agreed to sit with me on the Hour of Politics in this very special interview. But before we welcome our guest to begin this platform, we have talked to Sumonta International to welcome Mr. Joseph Yuma Boakai on our behalf. Sumonta International, let's hear from you. Okay, Sumonta International, we want to say thank you, Sumonta International, for that powerful welcome song of the Vice President. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Sumonta International, for that powerful welcome song there. We appreciate you. Folks in cyberspace, at this time, I want to welcome my guest, Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai. But hold on. Before I do, let me explain something to you. This is a mock interview with Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai. For those of you who don't know what a mock interview is, mock, that word means not real, but without the intention to deceive. In other words, we have Mr. Dennis Bakukenjuja, the well-rounded Dennis Ja, is playing Joseph Yuma Boakai in this interview. Focus on Liberia has done everything humanly possible to get the vice president to come here on the hour of politics to face the people's platform. We have not succeeded yet. So if we can get a vice president, somebody can play the vice president and we can ask the questions that we have for the vice president. So again, Dennis Ja is playing Mr. Joseph Boakai. So let's get started. Mr. Boakai, Vice President Joseph Boakai, it's good to have you. Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, Ansony, and thank you to the platform Focus on Liberia. I'm glad to be here with you. I say thank you. Right now, I'm speaking from my headquarters. I'm glad to speak to the Liberian people.
Well, Mr. Vice President, it's an honor having you here today. We are focused on Liberia. I've tried so hard to get you for an interview, and finally, you are here in person. It is an honor. Mr. Vice President, I see that you are joining us from the Unity Party new headquarters. How you doing? How's your family?
I'm doing fine. Katumu and myself, we're doing fine. You talk about new headquarters.
Yeah.
The other headquarters, I was not involved in the negotiation, so I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, Mr. Vice President, that is understandable that you were not involved with the negotiation. But you were Vice President that time, Mr. Boakai?
Yeah, understand one thing, Ansony. I was packed for 12 years, and even though I'm a race car, but I was parked for 12 years, so I was not involved in that negotiation. Ansony, you have to understand that.
All right. Before we go into the interview itself, Mr. Vice President, one thing you also said is that you are a race car and that they should put you on the track so they will see what you are able to do. You took over the Unity Party 2017. So you've been on the track and the issue of the headquarters just exploded in your face. So I think you are dodging the question, Mr. Vice President.
Ansony, I am not, because I am humble, so people may think I'm dodging the question, but no. What happened is if you are a race car, our constitution does not give vice president all the power, so you should understand that. But
Okay.
with my 40 years in politics, and I when I'm parked somewhere, I don't talk. I speak only when people are ready to listen.
All right, Mr. Vice President, thank you for that answer. Let's get started here. Mr. Vice President, let's hear who the Vice President of Liberia is. Please say for us briefly, who is the former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia?
Joseph Nyuma Boakai. I'm from the village of Wasonga in Foya District, Lofa County. I'm married to my best friend, Katumu, and blessed with 4 children.
Okay.
I'm also a deacon in my church, that's the Effort Baptist Church. I'm an elderly statesman, humble, and my powerful weapon is my smile.
Oh, wow. That is good to hear, Mr. Vice President, about that powerful weapon, which is your smile. Your smile. We'll get into that. So, Mr. Vice President, tell us about your political career. Some say it's over 40 years, and one of your surrogates, Mr. George Preston Lobo, told us it's 25 years. Which is which, Mr. Vice President? We want to get clear.
My political career started over 25 years, not 40. George is right. It's not 40, it's 25 years.
Okay.
I started as a warehouse boy at LPMC.
Okay.
I worked my way up. You see, every hard work pays. And that's why when we see the children running around, you don't put in the work. Quick, you want to be president. Hard work pays. I started as a warehouse boy. I worked my way up to resident manager in 1973.
Okay.
And I worked my way up and up and up to managing director. I was Minister of Agriculture in 1983 to 1985.
Okay.
In 1992, Managing Director of LPRC. In 2005, as you may know, Ansony, I was picked as the running mate of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You know, two of us come from CWA. That friendship has always been there.
Mhm.
And we won the election, and I served as vice president for 12 years. 12 years, grease, packed, and put in the garage. But right now, I'm running to succeed President Weah, and I have to talk about that later.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Talking about running, you are currently running for president. Uh, we really want to know, why are you running, Mr. Vice President? You tried in 2017. Why are you running this time?
You see, Ansony, everything has time.
Okay.
Everything has time. Yes, I ran in 2017. The people picked this boy who was a Bobo senator. He was there, didn't do anything. Now they pick him, but now they are regretting, especially the young people. The young people say they made a mistake. And this time is my chance.
Oh,
I'm
so
running to fix the country because the country has gone bad under this boy. You know, when I said roll, 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 the boy was in the Senate, he was not saying nothing.
okay.
Now he's running with roll, roll, roll. And the people gave him my name. I really should have been the bar roll medicine because I was the first to talk about roll. So you see, Ansony, the people want the real bar roll medicine. And that's why come 2023, they will vote for me. The young people voted for this boy. Now they know they made a mistake. 2023, they will be voting for me.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. So you said now is your time.
Yes.
Does one have a special time to be president? I thought it's work. You just talk about hard work. That's what got you from a warehouse boy to a managing director. And now you're talking about time. Are you contradicting yourself, Mr. Vice
No,
President?
no, no, no. The country is spoiled. And
Okay.
so, and the young people know they made a mistake. So, who the best person to correct that mistake but Joseph Homo Nyuma Boakai? You know one thing, I'm Gerald Rollins called me clean hands. Now other people running with it. But because the country is poor and I'm the only one who can fix it. Remember, I'm the only one who can take we are down. You know, I started from the before I went to Effort Baptist Church. You know, we the DC people, we from Free Pentecostal Church.
Okay.
So anything that's poor, only God can fix it. And so the way the country is poor, only Joseph Newman Boakai can fix it. And the song say, Halajana Bendia, Halajana Bendia, Nye no damo bo making no tosia, Halajana Bendia, Halajana Bendia, Nye no damo bo making no tosia, anything that's poor. Nobody can fix it. Only God can fix it.
Mr. Vice President, I'm impressed with your thinking skill. No wonder why you are a deacon.
Ansony, you know how work pays. And no matter how far the hand runs around, it will always come on the stomach. So
Okay.
those of us that are wise, that are
Mhm.
humble, we
Mhm.
always go to God. And that's why I am going to be the one to take we are down.
So, Mr. Vice President, you said Jerry Rowland call you Mr. Clean, and that this Mr. Clean name actually for you, but Cummings of late, he and his team been saying that he has clean hands. So is it because you are suggesting that Cummings tried to take your name?
Yes.
And that is why you did everything humanly possible to make him to have dirty hands now,
No,
if I
no,
can put
no,
it that
no,
way?
no, 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 no. You see, our people say the load you're able to carry, and the load you must put your cutter near.
Okay.
When put his cutter near the load, he's not able to carry. So Jerry Rowland named me clean hand. He take it. I talk about row, we are talking. He called
Mhm.
himself bad row medicine. So he called himself clean hand. You see, if you if you if you want, they say if you don't want a sudden death, don't take your
Mhm.
father title. So he took the clean hands. What happened? What happened when Cummings take the clean hand title?
Well, we heard about document being altered and all that. That's what we heard.
Well, and I was talking. When he took the clean hand title, then fingering document business came about. So are those hands stay clean?
So, Mr. Vice President, are you suggesting you have any role to play in this?
No, no, no. You see, as an elderly statesman, we sit
Mhm.
down and watch. We sit down and watch the children. You see, what an elder sees while sitting down, a child cannot see, even if the child climb on top of the coconut tree. So I got the clean hand name. He took it. So soon he took it. There was an allegation of firmware document tampering, and I leave it as that.
All right. Mr. Vice President, let me progress here. You are in the CPP and your framework talk about primary and the
Hold on,
Supreme
hold on,
Court.
hold on, hold on. You mean black voting?
No, I'm talking about primary, Mr. Vice President. That
Okay.
yeah, you want to say something about black voting? I don't think
Well,
it's in
well,
your framework.
because we have four constituent parties in the CPP.
Okay,
Why waste time with one man, one vote? We just do black voting.
but the black voting is not in the framework,
It's
Mr.
the
Vice
same black
President.
voting that is done in the House of Legislature. So we don't want to waste time. We don't have all the resources. So let's do black voting.
All right. So, Mr. Vice President, are you saying that the primary, this convention, you don't have interest in it? You don't want to go and face comments in the convention or primaries?
The CPP framework call for three
Consensus.
three things.
Okay.
First, consensus.
Mhm.
Then the fifth BS, which Cummings, Ellis, and his boys brought about that one.
Mhm.
But we agree, as an elderly statesman, whatever the children say, we go with it.
Okay.
Because I'm humble, I don't like trouble. So after the framework, after the VPS, that's the voters perception survey, then we go to the primary.
Mhm.
So the consensus should have been that Cummings come under me and Ron as my vice president. But we went in the framework document and they changed the convention date or the concession date. So right now, the concession date has passed. So
Mhm.
now let's go to voting. Well, it got to be black voting. We don't want to waste time. The people already know who they want.
All right. Mr. Vice President, I will take that answer and let me progress. So does that mean no primaries will be held?
We will have primary, and that is when the CPP stay, but we will come to that later. But we will have primary.
All
But
right.
that will be black voting. Because we are seeing, you see, the child not born already, the child, the child eyeball BB. Then what you want? We don't want cash violence at the primary, so we'll do black voting. And Yombly with me. Also, Euro is with me, and so it will be black voting.
Okay. Mr. Vice President, talking about Nyumly being with you, of late, we've been seeing you and Senator Lawrence together. Earlier, you talked about Ellen Pick. First question, is that why you told Cummings to come honor you? And now you also going out to pick uh, Senator Lawrence to be possibly your running mate. This picking thing here, the end introduce it to you, is that the only way you know that
No,
a
no,
presidential, vice presidential candidate can be decided?
no. I didn't pick Young Blade. We have not reached to that part yet. We
Okay.
are still in the primary process.
Mhm.
So there is no running mate.
Mhm.
What happened is this Ellis boy got big hat. He knows I can be vice president 2 times. So he should come under me. Ellis is new. You know that. He does not have the public sector experience that I have. Ellis got no base. The people of Maryland are not going to vote for him. And one thing, remember, where did Ellis grow up? Sometimes we hear it's in Plebo. The
Mhm.
next time it's on Jamaica Road. The other day, then we hear it's in Point Four. Then sometimes it's in Fiama. So Ellis got no base. And he keep running around. So since I'm the only one to take we are down, I want Ellis to come under me. I got Lofa counted 99.9%. Ellis Cummings have to come to be my vice president instead of running to be president. Remember now, I'm the only person to take we are down.
Yeah,
But if Ellis
Mr.
insists,
Mhm.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just about to ask, Mr. Vice President, you kept saying you are the only one to take we are down. You had the opportunity to take we are down in 2017. You won Lofa in the second round. So Lofa alone can't call it, can't get you to the presidency. Isn't that reason for you to maybe give way to Alex?
No, 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 no. You see, things have changed. The people are regretting.
Okay.
The boy is taking the country in the wrong direction. One day he's singing song, the other day he playing Ludo, the other day he playing volleyball, the other day he in studio. He just on fine time. And Ellis cannot win. Ellis is new, so he got to learn. But if he insists on running, I will let him run. You see, I don't like trouble. That's why they call me Joseph Humble Boakai. But if he insists, I will let him. You know, Ansony, if you tell small child say poo on the pankana
Mhm.
and the child say no, it's not on the sea, you let them bust it.
Wow, Mr. Vice President, you kept saying uh, the ball. He still wants to be president. Maybe we should leave that and talk about the CPP. We see that you are the head of the CPP. Honor your watch, it is imploding, and we are not hearing anything from you, Mr. Vice President. Why? When you came to the United States, when during that time you had a BBC interview, you said you have the track record, of resolving issue, and that you were going back to resolve the issue. The issue has not been resolved yet.
First of all, people keep saying they don't hear me speak. I speak only when people are ready to listen.
Mhm.
Number two, in the CPP, even though I'm the elderly statesman, but we are all equal. This is equal participation. If the CPP, if they realize that I'm the elderly statesman and they give me that role as the elderly statesman and they defer to me, then you, the press, can hold me responsible for not speaking. But we are all equal, equal vote. So you can't blame me for not doing this or not doing that.
Mr.
Unless
Vice
you want to make me elderly statesman for the CPP, then I will take that road. Other than that, it's one man, one vote.
Mr. Vice President, when it comes to the conflict in the CPP, you would say you are equal according to your framework. But
Yes.
then when it comes to the primary as to who should be the head of the CPP, then he said, at least that small boy should come honor you. Mr. Vice President, is there not a double standard here?
No, it's because I'm the only person who can take we are down. Ellis can't even win Jamaica Roll.
The last election, he got about 112,000 votes or more. That is more than the population or about that in Jamaica Roll. So how can you say that?
That was what? 4 years
2017.
ago. Sometimes even those people, sometimes they die now. We don't know. So, but as it stands, I'm the only one who can take we are down. Ellis is new. The people don't know him. Where is the base? Maryland? No, he doesn't have Maryland. Who's going to vote for him? Election is numbers, and he doesn't have it. So come under me. It's like I have 98%. Bring your 2%. Let's join together, and we can beat we are.
All right. Mr. Vice President, of late, we got credible information that your party, the Unity Party, under your leadership, is finalizing a legal document to pull away from the CPP. Are you walking away from the CPP, Mr. Vice President?
You know, I will say this. As someone from Wasonga, where we talk in parables. If you get to a river and the river is overflowing its banks, that river can stop you from going further, but that river cannot stop you from turning back. And I will leave it as that.
But you are a deacon when the children of Israel, when they reached to the Red Sea, they didn't turn back. The sea, I believe, was made open and they walked through. So, and you have the record of resolving issues. So why you can't resolve the issue? And besides that, Mr. Vice President, you promised the Liberian people that you are going to fill a single ticket. That was the only reason, the primary reason I brought you together anyway in the CPP.
Yeah, but there are many ways to skin a cat. Okay. So if you go one way, it doesn't work, you go the other way. Because the CPP, from where we stand now, other things are happening. And so has an elderly statement. And that's what I said, when we get to the river and the river is full, that river can stop us from going further to cross it, but it can stop us from going back. So I'm on my way back.
Yeah, but it's suggesting now that your decision is suggesting to us that you are backing off on your promise of filling a single ticket, Mr. Vice President. There's a saying that your word must be your bond.
What's the end result? What is it that we want? You see, when you get in any collaboration or any business deal, the end result is what you look at. What is the outcome that we want? Is to defeat we are making him a one-term president. So if we back out of the CPP and still win, what's the problem with that?
All right, Mr. Vice President, in essence, the Unity Party is walking away from the CPP. You promised the Liberian people that you were coming together to fill a single ticket. I have my reason for repeating this question. There was a promise that you made. You are noted for being Joseph, humble, honest Boakai. Where is the honesty in this decision that was made and promised the Liberian people?
The Liberian people want somebody who would take the country from this boy called we are. That's more important and more significant for the Liberian people than what we say. We politicians.
All right. Folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. This is our program, The Hour of Politics with me. In today's edition, I have as guest former Vice President Joseph Nyuma Boakai. And for your information, this is a mock interview. Dennis Baku Kenjuja, the well-rounded guy, is playing Mr. Joseph Nyuma Boakai. We will take a short break, and we will come back. When we come back, we will talk about the issue of age. We will talk about the issue of plans and how Mr. Boakai is going to take this country, in his own words, from George Weah, and how he will also take George Weah down, because he said he is the only one. Does he have the money? Who will be a vice president, or a vice presidential candidate? Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back in continuation of this interview with former Vice President Joseph Nyuma Boakai.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
Dennis Jah, thank you. And Mr. Vice President, we are back with you after the little short break there. And those of you who are just joining us in this interview, we want to say welcome. Again, we want to remind you, this is a mock interview. Mock means not real, but without the intention to deceive. We are not here to deceive the public. Mock can also be a little of comedy. There's too much tension in the political space as we speak. Today, we are doing a more interview with Vice President Joseph Nyuma Boakai, and Dennis Jah is playing Mr. Boakai. We will plan another one in the future to do it with another candidate when time permits. So we want those of you listening to not see this in a way that we do not intend. We just want to make that clear. So again, more interview with former Vice President Joseph Nyuma Boakai. Mr. Dennis Jah plays Joseph Nyuma Boakai. Mr. Boakai, let's get back to the issue here. The issue of your health always comes up when talking about fitness for the job. They also talk about your age. Are you sometimes troubled by this, Mr. Boakai?
You see, Ansony, old age is a blessing.
Okay.
So if you get to my age where I am, you should be thankful. God bless every human being with the age of 70. Anything above that, there's bonus.
Okay.
So if you get to my age, yes, you're good. And people that talk about sickness, nobody can buy sickness. So if you keep saying that, it means you were not raised properly by your parents.
Oh,
you see, the Bible says, train up your child in the way he should go. When he is old, he shall not depart from it. Every time you talk about age, you talk about sickness. Were you in Philadelphia when I was there? I stood up for almost 3 hours interacting with my people. Is that how an old man can behave, or a sick person? People should fear God, and they should take them off from my age or any sickness that they believe I have. I know they are my doctors, but God is the best doctor. Alajana bendia, alajana bendia. Yenye no dambo bo mekino tosiae.
Mr. Vice President.
Alajana bendia.
Mr. Vice President.
No dambo bo mekino tosiae. Anything that's for. Nobody can fix it. Only God can fix it.
Mr. Vice President.
I'm following in the spirit now, because this keep coming about my age, about my health, and in fact, Ellis and the boys try to put that in the framework document. You see, people don't fear God.
Mr. Vice President, I see that you sing in this song. Only God can fix it. Are you God?
I believe in God. That's why I'm a deacon.
So you talk about standing up for 3 hours when you were in Philadelphia during your US trip. There are a lot of things that came up during that trip. Let's talk about the first one. Your residence. We saw on social media a post talking about you were in your residence. Mr. Vice President, do you have a residence here in the United States that you own?
You know, Ansony, when you're in politics, sometimes, some things get out and you have to defend.
Right.
That boy wrote that was in my residence. That was Airbnb.
Okay.
And because I'm Joseph Humble Boakai, it's not every time somebody says something and then you go rebut. Our people say, not the many times the child call you, you should answer. So the boy put it there, he said resident. So I have to go alone.
Okay. Then another thing that came up was, we hear a lot of things, those of us in the media. You spoke about standing up for 3 hours, taking questions and speaking.
Yes. Can you stand for 3 hours?
I mean, Mr. Vice President, to admit that's a long time for.
Yeah, you want me to stand now? I can.
Oh, Mr. Vice President, are you trying to stand up now?
If you want me to stand, I can stand.
No, Mr. Vice President, no, you don't have to do that. You did that in Philadelphia, and many people think you did it well. But here's the thing, though, Mr. Vice President. It was rumored that you took 5 hours energy. You are noted for telling the truth. Can you tell what the truth is? Did you take any 5 hours energy drink?
That is not important. Even the car can take gas. So what wrong with that if I take energy? Even you're the young boy, you don't take power?
Is that a yes, Mr. Vice President?
It's not important. What we want is this boy is driving the country nowhere. And you need somebody like Joseph Humble Boakai to take him down, and I'm the only one who can do it.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Another thing that came up was one of your top surrogates, George Preston Lobo. He's our friend here at Focus on Liberia.
George,
there was a question asked, and he suggested an answer to you, and the microphone was open at the time. Do you have problem with George because of that, or that is okay, Mr. Vice President? Did he embarrass you, by the way?
Small children can run, but they can't hide. George is my son, and he tried to put words in my mouth, something that was already in my mouth. So he made a mistake, but I don't think that's a big deal.
But you think the answer he suggested was the right answer? Mr. Vice President, are you with me?
Yeah.
Mr. Vice President, are you awake?
You see, anytime I'm in a gathering at Sony and you see my eye closed, I'm not sleeping.
Okay.
I am very, very alert. You see the lion? When
yes.
The lion eyes are closed, the lion is alert. So I'm alert as a lion. Don't mind the eyes being closed.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Vice President, talking about your trip again. Hold on, Mr. Vice President. Talking about your trip again. When you were Vice President of Liberia, when you were in power, every time you came to the United States, you met government officials on the federal level. At one point, you met the President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama. And there's this saying that once a soldier is always a soldier. Once a Vice President is always a Vice President.
Has he come here to meet anybody?
Well, Mr. Vice President, during this trip, when you came, we noticed that you were meeting, for example, like city mayors, or state government officials instead of federal officials.
Ansony, the president you have now, is he coming here to meet anybody? You saw he sent a minister here, and they were meeting Pempen boy and wheelbarrow boys. So even if a mid-state major has a candidate, that is good. Compare that to your president, who can even come here. When he come, he only supposed to stay on the United Nations compound. And when he send the boys here, they meet the Pempen boy and Uber drivers. So I think I'm good. The
So,
people
Mr.
want me.
Vice President, was it calculated to have made government official on a state level instead of the federal level? Our understanding is that you believe in decentralization and and local government. Could that have played a role in your calculation then?
Many things are happening behind the scene, and we can't tell you all that. Like for instance, we were in Accra the other day. Many things are happening,
Okay.
but we can't tell all our strategy because all we want to do is to get this boy out of the backs of the Liberian people so he can go and play samba.
So, talking about the Accra meeting, Mr. Vice President, did you attend any meeting in Accra with Alice Cummings and Alan White?
Alex is my friend. I was in Ghana with my family for different things. And my friend Alex called me and said we needed to meet. And
Okay.
they say don't refuse the call, refuse what is in the call. So I met Alex, and this was closed door. It is not for press consumption.
But Mr. Vice President, you have the nickname Joseph Honest Boakai. We heard also it's been rumored. We can't independently verify what's been reported that they try to offer you some money reportedly now to get out of the race. Was it Ellis that attempted to do that, or did he try to do anything through Alan White? Tell us what really happened.
That is nonsense. You see, if I wanted money,
Mhm,
I have been working for 40 years.
mhm.
Oh, I thought 25, 40, 20, 25, 40, 25. Okay. All that time, I could have taken money, but I did not. The house that I built
Mhm.
in the 1970s is the house I'm still living in. So my interest is not money. So nobody is going to even show money to me. I can do well just by myself. I have farmland that I even give out to people. So my interest is not money. If I die today, Jojo and the rest of my children will be doing just fine.
All right. Mr. Vice President, let's talk about this trouble in the opposition Liberty Party. There are reports that the trouble in the Liberty Party is because the party is split on who to support, either you or Mr. Cummings. Talk to us. Do you have any hand in this Liberty Party crisis? Because we see DeLong pledge his support to you. We see that Nyongli is supporting you openly. It's obvious that you are part of the problem here, Mr. Vice President. Let's hear from you, your defense.
It's their right to vote whoever they want.
Okay.
It's their right. So I have no hand in it. You see, the other day, video was going around where the late Councillor Bramskin was talking about me. He was talking about tribalism, all the things. Look at the trouble now behind him. So you will blame me for that too?
Mr. Vice President, you and Yombly are close, and this is important, Mr. Vice President. I hope I can get an honest answer here. Is it because you promised her to be your VP, and we have pictures of you together, one that you posted, yourself posted on your Facebook page? Mr. Vice President, we see here that you are wearing number 9, CPP number 9, and she's wearing CPP number 6. Talk to us about this. What is going through your mind for which you posted this, Mr. Vice President?
You see, Liberian people have problems, right? The other day, I was playing checkers. They say, oh, the VP playing checkers. I went on the beach with this young girl who just had a bra on. You say, oh, the girl is too young. Now I wear number 9. Youngly wear number 6, and you say, oh, you take pictures. So what I should do now? Politics is not for children. And that's why I'm saying I'm the only one to take we are down. At number 9, I can play number 9 better. You see, our people say that anger can make the antelope to cross the river. So anybody who vex because I take picture with Yombly, let them boss. Don't forget now, even though I'm Joseph Humble Boakai, but the same S that can spell sweet is the same S that can spell sour.
Mr. Vice President, you are running to be president of Liberia. Earlier in this interview, you said Rose. That was your number 1 plan.
Yes, and the boy is running with it, and he never said it.
You referred to our current president that he was a Bobo senator and took your plan. Now I want to know, what plan do you have for Liberia this time? This time we're talking about 2023 and not 2017. What is your plan for our country?
Arts. And my boy George Preston Lobo is good at explaining it. I think he can even do a better job than I do.
So what is arts, Mr. Vice President?
You pressman, you don't know? It's on our website.
Mr. Vice President, are you sure which website? The one for the Unity Party USA? That's the only one I see.
Check my Facebook then.
Your Facebook?
Yes. Internet.
Mr. Vice President, in 2017, when you were running, I remember seeing a website that said Joseph Nyuma Boakai for president.com. Yes. Why this time you don't have a website yet, Mr. Vice President?
This time we are in a collaboration.
Okay.
In this collaboration, we're supposed to have a website. Ellis was supposed to build a website. He said he was busy doing something else. The time he took to play with the document, he's supposed to be building the website. So, and as Unity Party, we're supposed to have our own convention to put forward our candidate. For 2023, I'm only standard bearer from the 2017 election. So if we get that standard bearer for Unity Party, then we can have a website where you can see my plan. Right now, check out my Facebook or you ask George Lobo.
Yeah, Mr. Boakai, George Lobo was here making the case for you on Focus on Liberia. And we got it from him.
I trust my boy.
Yeah. And we got it from George that adds the A stand for agriculture, the R stand for road, the T stand for transportation, and the S stand for sanitation. That's what I remember. So, yes. Mr. Vice President, you served as agriculture minister before. Do you have a farm right now as we speak that is producing some of the things that we eat in Liberia?
Under me has LPMC boss. LPMC was buying produce from all the local farmers.
Okay.
We have WADA, the West African Rice Development. And also, when I became Minister of Agriculture, remember the Green Revolution?
I think I remember that, Mr.
That was me. Green Revolution, Green Revolution. Green Revolution is good for you and me. That was me. Even though people saw dough, but I was the one. But now see what we got. This boy saw a woman selling rice, and you made a woman rice.
This what, Mr. Vice President, are you there? Mr. Vice President?
Yes.
Are you with me? You are talking. I heard you. Were you trying to talk about dough? Did anything happen when you were agriculture minister?
I started Green Revolution, and people were making farms. Right now, I have so many acres. I even gave my farm land to people to farm. Poor women, they are farming using my farmland. I sometimes go to bombing. I'm giving agricultural tools to people. This is what we want. But the current president, does he have a farm? The other day I saw him, he held the collar upside down. He and the other boys, they said they were brushing. Is that what the Liberian people want? That's why they are regretting why they voted for him. And come 2023, I will be your next president, Joseph Clean Hands Humble Boakai.
Mr. Vice President, we know you are a busy man. but we will ask for 30 more minutes. We want you to interact with our audience, the
Yes.
Liberian people who vote you actually won. We will take a short break. When we come back, we'll read few comments. And after that, we will take phone calls from the Liberian people. Are you sure your son, George Lobo, going to call?
George is my boy. He is, in fact, I don't know. I don't know. But George doesn't have to call. George already know that we will be the next, will be in the leadership come 2023, and George will get something.
All right, Mr. Vice President, before we take that break to read comments and take the Liberian people calls, this your party secretary general, Mr. Mo Ali, the other day he said that he was somebody should not put him in a situation he couldn't handle. It was too much noise, and the Liberian people had expected that you have taken decision. But Mr. Buak, we learned that you didn't say anything. You just allow it to play out. This is your opportunity. Let me hear from you. Was that a good thing?
I talk only when people listen.
Yeah, Liberian people are listening now. Can we hear you say something on the Mo Ali? Don't put me in a situation I can't handle. I can't handle.
Mo went on suspension, and he served his time. He was suspended. And he came back, and I think we should move on. Everybody makes mistakes.
All right, Mr. Vice President, thank you. We're going to take that break. When we come back, we'll read a few comments, and then after that, the Liberian people will be calling to ask their question. Folks in cyberspace,
I can't wait.
Joseph Nyuma Boakai is my guest in this mock interview. We're taking a break. When we come back, we're reading your comments, and we are taking your phone calls. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
All right. Thank you, folks. We are back with you. At this time, we will read your comments. And while I read comments, for the Vice President to be given the opportunity to respond, those of you who want to call, you can call right now. The strolling text below, you will find the number. Only the one that starts with 605-313-6004. Remember to enter the code 791-403 # and you will be given the opportunity to participate. So let's read some comments here. Mr. Vice President, pay attention and take notes. Let's hear from Ator. Ator said, I'm following religiously. Let's hear from Ator again. UP people won't have problem with Sonega Diabo making this other music, but hitting all on him for abilities son. Let's hear from Emmanuel, right? But this in Kanga, you hear from Liberia soon to be president. Let me progress. Let's hear from Stanley. The platform is out of talking points we can understand. All right, yeah, from Gofan. You were never parked. You enjoyed the corrupt regime and never resigned, even after the first.
I want to respond. I want to respond to that.
All right, Mr. Vice President, go ahead.
Right. The role of the Vice President, Liberians need to understand that. And as my boy George Tully will always say, Willie Tubber served under Tubman. When Tubman was doing all the fake coup, what you expected Willie Tubber to do? So I waited. When Tubman died and Willie took over, he became speedy because he knew what to do. He saw everything that went wrong and everything that went right. And so he was up to the task. That's the same thing I'm going to do because I saw Ellie. I know when she packed me, I know even though I was packed, I was still paying car notes. I was still getting oil. I was still getting gas. That I were made because I'm Joseph Homo Boakai. But if you give me the opportunity, I will even be more than Willie Tubber.
Mr. Vice President, you sure you answer that question good? That though you were packed, you were changing the car oil and all that. You think that's a good way?
I like to be real. I'm humble black guy, and I like to be true to myself.
All right.
The race car was packed, but it was getting grease. It was taking engine oil. It also was taking gas, and we had to keep it. We had to always keep it consistent. How you call that?
Lubricated and
exactly.
in the car. All right.
Exactly.
Thank you. Let get from Woolworth, right? Park race car with 2.5 million annual budget. You want to respond to that?
The place we tie goat that the place the goat can eat.
Okay.
Next question.
All right. Let's hear from George P. Lobo. I will be looking forward to Mr. Cummings and President. We have mock interview too. Let's hear from Boma. Well, I will leave that one. I don't understand that. Want to pick among these comments. Look at this. Oh no, man. People need to be tolerant here, man. Let's hear from Margaret. Yeah, I expect you to need and want change for your people. Like look in the mirror type of thing, but it's okay when a candidate pays voter to vote for him, right? Asking question there. Let's hear from Hawa Mesga. The man just threw another hint at it again. Or he said he beating all your opposition Wahala people. He big boy. Well, let me leave it there. Let's hear from Sieh. Dennis, I expect you to come in costume. Instead, you come holding a picture on a stick. Mr. Vice President, someone is talking to you like that.
Well, people, that's what comes with being in a public office. People always talk.
All right. Well, Mr. Vice President, for me, I'm not feeling most of the comments, so we'll leave it there with the comments. Let's see if we have callers here, and we have a caller on the line. Let's get to that caller. The caller on the line. Mr. Vice President, you have to bear with us here. It seems to be the phone line has disconnected for some reason. So we'll take a short break to reconnect the phone line, and then we will be right back. I don't know what happened right there, so we'll be right back.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Ja.
Conference.
Thank you.
Please announce yourself.
Thank you. We have a caller on the line. That caller is D. Curtis. D. Curtis, let's hear you.
This is not D. Curtis, my children. This is Mom Curtis.
Oh, Mom Curtis, welcome to Focus on Liberia. You know this man. We are interviewing the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, former Vice President Joseph Boakai.
Yeah, I know Boakai. I know the Omenia Racha used to play what is your name? Lulu and Nafo together way back inside the normal days.
You sure that was the only play?
you try not coming from my family matter onto the internet, and not everything was supposed to be spoken into the public.
Okay. So,
The question I got to ask the Joseph Boakai, the people money why he not say he was living under the room. How much money he say while he was living under the room, and what time he would pay the people room back? Is he trying to begin the president for and then say that bring people money so he can pay under the room? Or what is it that he's trying to do?
all right. Any other question?
Ansony, ask my cousin if she can pay taxes. You see, the people that don't pay taxes, they can always talk about money.
Man Cortez. Man
I
Cortez.
pay the tax. I pay the taxes. The taxes where I can tell in my lap and nose. After I sell him my better coin, I want to use to pay the taxes. I have been paying the taxes. So you can't tell me that I'm not going to pay taxes. I've been paying the taxes. So you need to tell her who will borrow the money for the loan where he's living on top. Whether he will pay the money before we go to election to be president, before he can use the library for money. So can't say he won't come pay the loan where he's been borrowing.
Well, I've been paying the loan. All of you, even the people in America, they all live on loan. If you get car note, that loan. If you get your mortgage, that loan. If you get your student debt, that loan. So what made me different? I live on loan.
Well,
Humble
the people that you different from the other people you pay inside the government for all the years inside the government.
I never stole money.
People that were inside America or inside the United States, they no living inside the government. They don't get all the things that what you can get. So how come you get all the things that what you can get and you stay under the people loan?
Because the first time they were paying me $5,000. You see, as vice president, I used my money and I was working with people that I also had to pay. So because I did not corrupt, I did not steal any money, and that's why I checked any other reports. You would not see the name Joseph Humble Boakai being accused of corruption.
All right.
So the Liberian people always want people who can steal.
When you go to the supermarket, you see the young children that go inside the supermarket and start stealing something. When you're not here, roll, and you tell your father to stealing, what the children are definitely stealing. You're not supposed to take a year for it, but you were there the whole time the children that was stealing, you no more saying nothing.
I was packed.
Okay. Margaret, thank you. What's your final question or thought so we can take leave for you? You heard the vice president there.
I said they may need to come sit down with me inside America. We get a nursing home ready. They can't retire. We get a nursing home. We are already finished paying for 2 bedroom with 1 piazza for him. So we can come be together inside the nursing home in America. He needs to come rest near me. The thing what we used to do, we're buying no more days. He needs to come so we can finish it.
Thank you, Margaret.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Vice President, you heard Man Cortez there. Anything respond?
You know, Joseph Humble Boakai have been married for so long. I'm a married man. Let Man Cortez care her trouble.
All right, thank you. We have another caller here. Caller, your name and where you joining us from.
Moses Mokera.
Mr. Kera, welcome to Focus on Liberia. We have Mr. Joseph Yuma Boakai, former vice president, as our guest. Any question or comment for my guest?
Yes, thank you firstly for the Focus on Liberia program, and I thank the vice president for his service to our nation. I do not have a question but a comment.
Okay.
I am just, as a concerned Liberian, very concerned about the rivalry that is being permeated in the PP. And as the old book says, a house divided against itself cannot stand. In Liberia, we have a history of not holding together in any merger because people do not kill their individual selves. So I just want to advise, as a concerned Liberian, that purpose for which the political parties came together, you always remind them to hold together. Because if they so want to redeem Liberia, any friction in their condition will benefit whomever they consider a common target. So as a statement, I just want to talk to the Vice President, the denigrating of other members within the party, they should go above that. Talk to supporters. I mean, this is politics, but we should be respectful of each other. Digging out drugs that do not exist on other people will only help to harness the strength of the opposition.
Thank you.
That is just my formal comment to the Honorable Vice President. Again, thanks for your service to our nation.
Thank you so very much.
All participants are muted
Mr.
and they can unmute themselves.
Mr. Vice President?
Well, I want to thank Moses for his comment. You know, they say, not because you want to drive out the mosquito, you should burn the whole house. So we will do our best and deliver what the Liberian people want. That is, make George Weah a one-term president. If that doesn't come through the CPP, it will come another way. We will go to the second round, and all the opposition will rally around one candidate. That is a consensus, and I can guarantee that to the Liberian people.
Thank you so very much. Mr. Vice President, we're going to take a short break, and after that, we will take your closing statement. And folks, don't leave. The Vice President is going to give a powerful closing statement, and I also have a closing for you that you're going to like. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back. Thank you, folks, for staying with us here at Focus on Liberia. Mr. Vice President, you promised to be with us for 1 hour, 15 minutes. We have 5 minutes left. Let us get your closing statement. And Mr. Vice President, this is what I want you to do in your closing. The Liberian people are at a crossroad. The country is at a crossroad, if I can put it that way also. There are many people that are in despair right now. We hear that the economy is not good. You are on the ground. How can you assure the Liberian people that first you're going to win, and that when you win, the Liberian people will be taken care of?
First of all, I want the Liberian people to see my beautiful smile.
Wow. Mr. Vice President.
I want to assure the Liberian people that come 2023, George Weah will be a one-term president.
Okay.
And what's going to happen, the economy now is bad. See what they are doing. Anytime there is short of money, anytime prices go up, they go and print money. Can you believe that? And they will tell you, they will make a budget and just pay themselves. Imagine 2023 is election year. The president has put money in the budget for his campaign, calling that county tour. Almost every ministry has some money for the president. The Presidential Affairs Ministry is used as a back door for the president to get extra money. That's why you see presidential affairs stationery alone is 5 million. Can you believe that?
No, stationery is 508,000, Mr. Vice President.
Politician, we exaggerate. That is allowed.
Oh, okay, Mr. Vice President.
Yeah, politicians do that to make a point.
Okay.
So, and then when you go to another ministry, they put some money there, 10 million for county tour, this other million for this one, all because the president want the money. Then he will bribe the legislature to approve the budget. So they all get raised. The Liberian people do not get raised. My people in Foya don't get raised. The people in Kample don't get raised. The people in Kabada don't get raised. The people of Putukan don't get raised. But Joy Weah and his boys continue to get raised. So come 2023, we'll make him one-term president. That's why I say arts, agriculture, road. What Joyce, how you call the second one?
Transportation
and sanitation. Don't think I'm forgetting. But when you get to my age, Ansony, you will understand all this. Old age is blessing.
I can understand, Mr. Vice President. All right, Mr. Vice President, thank you so very much. We will take leave of you and we'll invite Mr. Dennis Jah, who is the head of this network, to explain, the idea behind this interview. So at this time, Mr. Vice President, we say thank you for honoring our invitation. If we ever need you again, campaign coming, 2022 is here. We'll reach out to you and we are hopeful that you will come and grant us another interview. Thank you for coming, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you to the Liberian people for listening. Thank you to our UP partisan. Thank you to the young people. I know they made a mistake and they are not going to make the mistake again. And thank you to Focus on Liberia for doing this. See you then.
All right. All right, folks. There you have it. At this time, I will bring in Mr. Dennis Jah so that we can get at least a minute from him to tell us the goal of this particular interview. Like we told you, and we're going to remind you again, this is a mock interview, and you can look it up. Mock means it's not real, and the part that is not real is it was not Mr. Joseph Yuman Boakai himself speaking. Dennis Jah played Mr. Joseph Yuman Boakai. It is not real, but without the intention to deceive anybody, and it's also meant to decompress because there's so much tension in the political space that these are the reason why we had to do this. So we want to say, stay with us while we bring in Mr. Jah, the head of Focus on Liberia, to speak on some issues here. There you have Mr. Dennis Jah. It's good to have you. How you doing, sir?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ansony Sieh, for having me. Again, I want to thank our viewers for staying here with us. Focus on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. And that was a brilliant interview. And I think we deserve a hand.
So, Mr. Jah, before I close the broadcast, I have something for our people to close with. Management made a decision to do a mock interview. What's the rationale behind this decision?
You see, there is always tension in our political system, right? And people are at each other's throat. People are, and the good thing about the interview is we did not, these are all facts, even though somewhere they were exaggerated. But this is to tell you that we need this kind of thing. We need, oh, don't forget, the vice president has left. And so there is a name change.
Okay.
So it is very important that we discuss as people. We want to see more of our politicians engaging one another. It will, it will interest you that with all the things we hear in the CPP, we have not had the chance to see Mr. Boakai and Mr. Cummings discuss publicly or debate, or even appear on a panel to just talk about Liberia. That's very healthy. And so we try to show people that hey, we can talk. And besides that, we want to put a little bit of humor in this thing. We are all Liberians. We continue to stress on this platform that we are all Liberians, and we must do everything, whatever it takes, to make our country the glorious land of liberty. We must laugh at ourselves. We all make mistakes. We all have low points and we have high. So we should not be so tense and be fighting. Let us come to the point of laughing at our own mistakes, because it helps us to grow.
Right.
And laughter really helps the soul. And so, people came, and I'm happy that people like it. Some may not like it. It may be strange to other people. But this is our way of calming down the tension and encouraging discussion among surrogates, among politicians, people in government, people out of government, because at the end of the day, we are the same people. It will also interest you that everybody in government now, and I always stated that there is nobody who leaves their home and say, today I'm going to work to destroy Liberia. Everybody has some good intention. Sometimes the way they go about it, or something step in, or maybe devil fool them, as people may say, but the intentions are all good, and people want the best for our country. Some may be ignorant, some may be incompetent, some may be just wicked or foolish, but it's all good. So the people that are in government now, when they come to America, where do they go? We still mingle. Even though we talk bad about them, they are our friends, schoolmates, neighbors. We played on the same, soccer field and all that. So there is no need for all this tension. We must relax the tempo and tolerate each other, talk to each other, understand one another, and work together to move our country forward.
Mr. Ja, thank you so very much. I think you played Mr. Boakai very well. And I understand many people, or maybe few people, will have issues with that. I will suspect, especially those who support Mr. Boakai, because there are some of the things that were said. They might see, okay, these are the laws of our candidate, and he is pounding them. And to those people, I want to say, like Dennis said, we are humans. We have our highs, we have our lows, we have mistakes. The best we can do with these lows, these mistakes, is to laugh. To get so tense about them, we continue these things to go on and on and on. Yes, it's true in politics. Your opponent will always use your low, and your mistakes to capitalize. That is policy. But to pour humor in it is also good for us as a people, because it will decompress us. It will also provide the opportunity for us to reduce our mental tension, because there's so much tension, especially those of you who take these political sides. We've seen the fight. Until we all accept that these things that are the laws of our candidates, we should laugh about them. And if we don't laugh about them, then the tension will continue. That is the goal for this interview that you just listened to. The intention was not to make Vice President Joseph Nyuma Boakai to look back. We believe Joseph Nyuma Boakai is a decent Liberian statement. Liking or not, disagree with him or not, Focus on Liberia is a media platform that respects everybody, and our politicians as well. We will hold them accountable because they want to serve our people. We believe that our people have not been served well from time to time, and so we will hold them accountable. But as we do, let us also find time to laugh and laugh and laugh and joke about the things sometimes that bring the trouble and the tension among ourselves so that the community can be able to hold together. So folks, in cyberspace, focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things. If you have not seen a mock interview before, we gave you one today. And by the way, this one was our first. We hope that we will do better next time. We'll do a little more research. And the next time we come on here with another mock interview, we guarantee you that will be even better than the one you just witnessed. We hope you understand why we did this, and it was not intended to mock Joseph Nyuma.
Right. I think people also enjoy the proverbs, the parables, right?
Oh yeah, the parables.
You may not notice, but anytime the former VP speaks, he talks wisdom. He talks parable, and so I mean it's a lot of work trying to research, see, and trying to add to it. But I think it was good. Some criticize, say, "Hey, wear the costume. Come on now, give us some money. We have to do these things." So we're doing the best we can, but certainly we're going to do better, and you will like it. We want to thank all those who came, and spend this time with us. It's all good, and we appreciate you. And Mark Curtis, come again, and Mr. Moses Ketter. Moses, are you still there before you leave? You have any last word?
Thank you.
Thank you, Moses.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye. All right, then that will do it, folks, in cyberspace. Usually we don't close any of our broadcasts here without bringing to you that song that unites us, and that song is called We Are All Liberians. You can listen to that song for just 1 minute, and maybe that song will help you to understand why we did this. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from us here at Focus on Liberia. Thank you, guys.
We are Liberia. Liberia is our home. Liberia people. Liberia.